Yeah.
Let me just set it. I'm gonna hold on. Oh, actually, I'm good.
Yeah. All right. You're good.
Okay.
You're on.
Welcome to Seward Soundwords. We got a brand new episode today here on 91.7 KIBH FM Seward and on YouTube on our at Sacktown Talk channel. Very excited to have a new guest in today. Samuel Teckenbrock is sitting next to me. Sam, thanks for doing the show. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. Thanks for getting me on here.
You bet. Yeah, no, I mean, it was all you. Really excited. Sam wrote a new piece for today, and we've been prepping and really excited to hear your set. We haven't had a show in a while, so I do want to thank you for kind of getting that going, getting us back in the station. Always a great vibe to be in here, and I think it will really get us going more here in the summer. Summer can be a break sometimes for our writer group and writer scene, not completely, and we're really trying to keep it going. So if you are interested in doing a radio show here on Seward Soundwords, please email me, get in touch with me. We are looking for guests. We're trying to go weekly. My email is seanulman@gmail.com. But we do have some really good writing community things going on this summer, so look for these opportunities as well to feature your work, to get something ready, to get together with writers and talk. We're doing a writer's coffee hour once a week on a weekday morning. We've done it Monday. We just did it Thursday at 9 a.m. Coffee shop. If I send out an email and we just meet casually for coffee and talk like writers and keep the stoke going and just kind of exchange ideas. And man, I just came from an awesome one where I filled pages with just like really great ideas. The collaboration is a strong thing. So look for that. And if you're interested in that, please email me. And then another great thing we have going on this summer is open mic at the Seward Farmers Market. So there's music at the Seward Farmers Market. Selma Casagranda provides guitar and singing, fabulous stuff. And then we've had the idea to do an open mic as well, where writers can share, entertainers, poetry, fiction. Last week we did a artificial intelligence theme. It was really fun. It's just an open mic, just what it is, and we're looking for all voices. So this is going to be at every farmer's market. The next one is coming up a week from Saturday, July 8th. And we're going to have a market every Saturday in August. So a lot of chances to share your work, kind of a nice permanent stage through the summer there. So a lot of good stuff going on in the summer. And I think Sam is an example of that. Sam and I met through the Artisan Schools program. Great program going on through the Seward Arts Council, where I've taught creative writing, the short story really to, fifth graders was kind of the main spot, some other grades. And went back in touch with writers I've worked with, now having the radio show, hopped into the middle school to just see if anyone was interested in, coming on the air, doing a show, want to share some creative work they've been working on. And Sam has got a lot of energy and a lot of ideas, and he jumped at it, and it was an awesome thing to see and to work up. So he wrote a new piece for today's show. It's called The Journey. It's really good stuff. And he also has his own YouTube channel, and this is called Unbelievable Sam. So check that out, because you're going to want more Sam after you hear his piece and we talk about it. But with that, I'll pass it to you, Sam. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Cool. So pretty much my piece is like a fan fiction on The Last of Us, and yeah, I'm just doing like an extra bit.
Cool.
I had to do like an extra bit in class, and then I just build it onto that with fan fiction.
Yeah.
And my story is called The Journey, and it starts off with, "Hi, my name is Concrete. I am a lumberjack in Brazil. My daily life is not the best. I wake up, eat celery, and then I go to work. I cut down a lot of trees for other people or friends. When I come home after a long day of work, I love to watch some TV and eat more cooked celery. One day, I was cutting down a tree when I found a bug. It blended in and looked like a flower. I loved it, and it was my friend. I noticed that it wasn't identified, so I wanted to make it that way. I tried, but before I could do anything, it bit me. I was so offended and saddened, but I wanted revenge. I never ID'd the bug. I also accidentally squished it. 4 months later, I figured out that when it bit me, it gave me stage 2 lung cancer and that I was going to die in 1 month. 2 weeks later, I'm beating the lung cancer. It's definitely been a tough journey. The hospital I'm in has a bunch of people like me. The bug got identified and is still giving people lung cancer. Now the whole hospital is going crazy. I'm seeing a bunch of people running around like crazy people. I'm hiding under the hospital bed right now. Someone is in the room right now, and they sound like a zombie. Uh-oh. Right this second, I'm being as quiet as possible, I'm thinking I need to find a way out. 5 months later, I still have lung cancer, but it has slowed down. There's another problem, though. There's a spreading zombie apocalypse. I'm with a group of survivors. We all have a good amount of food, water, and shelter. People have been trying to break in. We call them raiders. There's a raider at our base camp right now. There's actually a zombie that has something in its eye. Wait, it looks like fungus. Wait, there's a lot more now. 1 week later, the group split up, and I am alone. Food and supplies have dwindled. The horde that hit my base camp made us all split up. When the zombies were coming out, there was one and it was big, and we couldn't kill it because it had a thick plate of fungus as armor on it. Other people don't know what to call it, but I'm thinking of a bloater. 1 year later, I've learned a lot more about what is happening, and I've gotten into some intense encounters. I fought a bloater. It was very hard. I also learned how to craft weapons such as bows and explosives. I joined a force. They call themselves the Fireflies. I traveled from Brazil to Alaska on a boat. I found islands and took a lot of food because I was going to need it. 2 years later, the Fireflies got into a war with another force. I left to join a group. We all share resources and have weekly movies, which is a little unusual for a zombie apocalypse, but I'm not complaining. We share resources with other groups and have many friends. The community is very cool and nice. We have daily snowball fights at the park and have dodgeball every Wednesday. Tomorrow is sled racing day, and I'm prepared to win. I've made some friends in the community, and I feel this whole zombie apocalypse thing is kind of bringing people together to help one another. Boom. That's it.
That's it. Boom. Nice job. Good stuff.
And then I have my drawing of a bloater.
Yeah, we get that to the camera. We got a bloater here from Sam's original piece, The Journey.
Yeah.
Maybe what you were picturing, maybe not. Nice art going on there too.
Nice.
I feel like you added some things since the last draft. I saw some nice pieces. Nice work. The sledding, some new stuff kind of came out. I do remember that great description with a thick plate of fungus. Man, a lot of neat stuff going on. When I do the Artists in Schools program, I like to say, you have your own voice. You have your own stories. Like, this has really your signatures to it, I think, as far as what you like to write. I really liked how you jumped through time. 2 months later, 5 months later, 1 year later, really gave a nice pace. And the reader's kind of oh, wow, here we go. Major stuff is happening. Let's see how things are shaking out a year later. There's a lot of just kind of nice jumps. It gets pretty serious. And this setup at the beginning of, you see this bug and you see it might be your friend, and then it bites you and things take a turn.
Yeah. Which is, it starts off funny, and then it gets to oh no, this is serious. And did this bug start this, and did it not? What happened?
Yeah. And I'm not familiar with The Last of Us, but it feels like you really brought in a lot of your own ideas and took some jumps here. It's nice I think fan fiction is a good way to write, because it's hard to start with just nothing, right? So here's a show, you kind of know what you like about it, and here's how I'm going to put my spin on it. Is it something you would like to write more of, or you would recommend a new writer to go try a piece of fan fiction?
Yeah, no, fan fiction's really fun, and it's definitely good, as you said. If you don't have anything to write, just write about something else, and or I'm also kind of interested sometimes in writing movie scripts and stuff too.
No doubt, yeah.
I have a lot of different ideas and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, can you talk more about movie scripts you've maybe worked on or are thinking of working on, or just I'd like to hear more about that.
So I'm thinking on this one movie. I don't have a name for it yet, but it's involved with time travel and a lot of it.
Right.
And it's just kind of a basic explanation of the idea that I have. It's kind of where I'm just a kid, in 1940s or something, and I time travel because my dad has a time travel machine.
Right.
And then I time travel to the future, and then I get adopted, and then I'm 12, and then I'm going to middle school. And then my adopted father finally believes me to go down to the beach where a bunch of other time traveler, or to the beach where I got time traveled to.
That's where you kind of landed.
Yeah. And then to find a bunch of different time travelers from a bunch of different times, and we all have to defeat a force that's we all have to defeat a force that's the entire time like the time force.
Oh, cool.
So yeah.
That's awesome. That sounds familiar. Like when we worked together with the artists in schools a couple years ago now,
Yeah.
you were working on treatment for that type of thing. I remember like your dad building a time machine and time travel you were into. This is it. Yeah. So that's still going very much so. Boy, that beach scene, I could see that being quite cinematic, you know, as far as like you land there, right? So that's the initial, like, all right, we're in the future. Here's just Sam, and then you go back to it, and this is just where other this idea of other time travelers is really intriguing. Like they have different machines, probably.
Yeah, like there's one from the future that has like one of those arm phones where he's got like a phone on his arm and he's got like a bunch of antennas, like in like helmets and like on his arm that he can pull out to go search for things and stuff. And then there's one from like the 1920s with like a fancy suit on, and he's like,
Yeah. I mean, how fun would that be to like set up at Lowell Point Beach? You know, like movie script writing. I hear you. Like that was one of my, you know, I loved to watch movies as a kid, and I would watch them and, you know, love them. I'm actually revisiting Indiana Jones, which has been really fun. Awesome. And you know, some of these movies I'd be like, boy, you know, like at various ages, you know, and kind of when I was in my more confident moods, there were, you know, not those, but I'd be like, I could write something better than that. You know, like I think I could do something like that. I have an idea. And I actually did. My first like project that I'm really proud of is a movie script. Never been made, but like with your scripts, you know, and like this idea of like there's the script just for the script, and that's something to be proud of because it is like a book, and like you executed that project and it's written and it could be made. But are you thinking with your movie ideas, like you like actually making them? Do you keep that in mind when you work on scripts? Like how are we gonna actually pull this off?
Yeah, so I have like a bunch of ideas with that one movie script that I just talked about where like just like extra bits that I thought of where like when I see like a bunch of the time travelers, I just like pass out.
Yeah.
And we'll have like a little like gym mat, and it's there like one of those mats that you would have in like a gym and stuff. And then I have like green screen at my dad's house and all that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're not writing a script just to have a script sit on the shelf and be like, yeah, I wrote a movie. No, this is like gonna be put into production as the plan. You're thinking like the director and the producer, like, okay, how can we do this on a budget? I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
And just like, how can we actually make this? This is the point of this writing, is to turn it into video.
Yeah, I know a dude who's really interested in helping out, and
sweet.
He does a lot of movie scripts and stuff.
Yeah.
My Uncle Josh talked to you about.
Yeah. Well, you got him in your corner too, you know, as far as cameraman. So you got, I mean, movies are such a team, you know, the writer, and then those other pieces you have around you. You see, like, you know, when we watch a movie, like the credit list, right, of all the people that work on a movie, like even the small one, like it's a lot. And I see that and be like, all right, all these people worked hard. All these people had fun coming together, sharing ideas, collaborating, you know, taking your script, and then you get on the scene and you add things. You make little edits that don't even maybe make it in writing. You just like kind of do some shop talk and like, no, let's do it like this. Let's try this angle, you know. And you have some experience making some movies and appearing and acting.
Yeah.
And
I've worked with my Uncle Josh and his friend Bobby on like a movie. And I also like now and then I'll just like make like not like an official movie, but me and my friends will walk around with lightsabers.
Yeah.
And we'll have our friends film us. And, like pretend to be in a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that stuff what gets on Unbelievable Sam?
It gets on my other YouTube channel with my best friend, Nelson Brooks.
Okay. Yeah. A couple YouTube channels for Sam here. But yeah, like that being on the set, you know, I've messed around with this a little bit too. Like it's really energizing, right? Isn't it like you really feel like you love it? I'm gathering, right?
I really love like acting and like, cause acting is just really fun for me.
Yeah.
I did like the plays at my school.
Cool.
I did 2 plays at my school. They were both really fun.
Yeah.
One about a zombie apocalypse, which I loved. And then one about just like fantasy and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were both really fun.
Yeah. Acting is neat. You know, I think acting is writing, right? These are idea-based arts where you're like, how can I best portray this character? How should it look to convince the audience that this is this character, right? You get in that kind of headspace before you go, all right, we're rolling.
Yeah, no. My last character was kind of like a jock, and he kind of thought he knew everything that was correct. Like, so I would go out there and I'd just be like, we're doing this way.
Yeah. And it's fun on like just a personal level to be somebody else, right? It's like you get to kind of spread your wing.
Yeah, escape like the just like being who you are and
Totally.
be something else.
Right. I enjoy it. Yeah. And be creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned, you know, your piece starts out funny, right? This guy's name is Concrete, right? That's kind of funny. That's different.
Yeah.
And then it gets serious. He's got lung cancer. All right. You know, I think this balance of like, you know, comedy and I don't want to say tragedy, but like heavy stuff, I think works really well in this piece that you shared, the journey. You're listening to 91.7 KIBH FM Seward here on Sacktown channel on YouTube. Sam Teckenbrock is our guest. It's a lot of fun. Couple lines I really liked. I responded to them when I read them a couple of times, and when hearing you again, like where they get together to watch a movie, which is kind of strange for a zombie apocalypse, but whatever, you know, it's working. I like that, you know, this is where you bring in kind of some modern, you know, making it your own, making like, why not can't a zombie apocalypse be like this? That, you know, zombies are kind of regular people too, in a way, right? They like to get together and watch movies. And then the last line you close with, and last lines are important, right? As our opening lines, it's kind of our first impression. His name's Concrete. Boom. You know, that establishes things. And then the last line is what you leave the reader on, or viewer, if it's the last scene, is this, like, we can see this becoming a movie. And this idea of like, it's kind of bringing the community together. You know, like what a neat flip on the zombie apocalypse. Like you don't think of that's what a zombie apocalypse does. Can you talk about like those two lines in particular? Like were those conscious like things? Like I want to get this idea of like regular life to it, or did they just kind of happen in the flow of writing? They're great lines.
I just kind of thought of like with like the movie stuff and like all that. I just kind of thought like of how people created that before before it was even invented, and I just thought of like they just kind of recreated it.
Okay.
You know, like because zombie apocalypse just kind of wiped everything out,
right?
And then they just like started building things back up and started making fun things happen.
Yeah,
and creating plays and creating movies in the community that they have, and snowball fights, sled competitions and all that.
Yeah. These kind of like regular things that all kids love, you know, like we like to do sledding, we like to watch movies and bring. So that's kind of a neat argument you're making, you know, like even after we start over after a zombie apocalypse, just the good old fashioned stuff is what gets built up again and because it's fun, right?
Yeah. Like everything that like if something bad happens in one area, like it'll always like most of the time it'll just get rebuilt to be something better.
Boom.
You know?
Love that. Yeah, that balance. It's going to swing back, right?
Yeah, like if everything gets wiped out, it'll get rebuilt to be better than it was before.
If it's just rainy, it's going to get sunny, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's great sitting with you, Sam. You know, this Artists in Schools program, How We Met, is such a strong program going on in our community by the Seward Arts Council. You know, artists, I'm a writer. I went in as a writer. I know Libby Ferreira has done leather work. Justine Pasciuzzo has been doing visual arts. Megan Miller has done drama. I'm missing some, but it's a wonderful program. It's got a lot of momentum. I love being a part of it. I just see, you know, in the process, like as I work with writers and see their pieces build from like really cool starts and then just putting in the work, right? I think you heard me say that, like, you know, the more effort you put into the writing, the better it's going to be. That's the thing about art and writing. So I see it in the process and also like the finished product, like these stories, like your story was awesome. Your classmates' stories are awesome. They're very individualized. They have voice. Like your voice was so strong coming through here. Like this is Sam's deal. He likes this stuff. He's totally in control. So I wanted to ask you, you know, like I like to really push like, you know, artists in schools, right? And I doing writing. Sometimes we think of writing as like more academic and essay. It's got to be like this. But like I would say writing is art. Think of it as art and like having fun with it. Like, do you agree writing is art? Can you talk on that a little bit?
Yeah, because it's as same as like painting something. You put your mind into it and you put what you're thinking into it, and you put like you could draw something and you could draw like whatever you want, but that's what you're thinking of, or that's what you're not thinking of. Or same with writing too.
What you're not thinking of, I like that. That's good stuff, because that's, you know, often in writing I find what you take away, these things that go through your mind. Yes, very mind-based art always, right? Ideas, that's how it starts. And like, you know, we have this kind of computer in our head. I'll use that metaphor even though I'm not crazy about it as it just came out, but no, I'm not going to say that. That's not what I want to put in my painting or my story. No, no, no. Oh, that's kind of cool. Let me put that down for now, mess around with it. You know, you're kind of like making these decisions. Even when we do, I like the painting metaphor as well, because that, you know, you want to talk about writing as art, writing as painting. A painter, before they get their paints ready and dip the brush in and put it to the canvas, I think most have ideas of what they want to depict, how they want it to look. You know, a lot happens in the process as far as like, ooh, I just did a good mark, let me step away. But it starts with an idea, just like writing, right? You can't just like have something magically appear on the page. You have to have an idea, you know, like I'm going to write fan fiction. I'm going to, you know, come up with these bloaters and it's going to be a zombie apocalypse. Got some ideas. Right now I need an idea for the first line, where a painter would be like, now I need an idea. What color do I want to use? Right. Art is idea based no matter what art you're doing. Is that, you agree with that?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. You made a good point there. Going to the mind. Yeah. 91.7 KIBH FM Seward. Seward Soundwords is back. We had a little hiatus, but Sam Teckenbrock, you know, bringing the energy. I mean, he is the reason we're here. So I really appreciate that. A lot of fun. We're on at Sacktown channel here on YouTube. Let's see. I'm covering it. Let's. Is there anything else you want to share right now? I'll look through my notes because I'd love to keep talking to you, but yeah.
What's your channels again?
The Unbelievable Sam and Nelson Brooks.
I mean, another thing that was cool about your piece was, you know, point of view, first person point of view, where you know what I'm saying? Like, was that a conscious choice as far as like how you wanted to tell the story, from what perspective? Because I think when you bring in film too, that's a thing you can do with the camera.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to just like, just be like, this is what I'm doing right now, and like,
yeah.
I like how I added like the, you know, like the times, like 1 year later and
Totally.
2 year later.
Yeah.
2 years later. I kind of tried to like build up the times.
Yeah.
So like it would just add on more.
Yeah.
Be bigger and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, you cover a lot of ground, you know, and I think that's a really good technique in writing or filmmaking, to be like, all right, that's all you need for this period. Now we're jumping ahead, update. Like, that's exciting. Like, oh, wow. Like, you could even see on the screen, like fade to black 2 months later, right? Like, type on the screen. You could show that like with the words.
Yeah.
And then oh, what's going on now? You know, like, and so that could be really fun to play with on both the writing and cinematic level. Eating celery. Nice repeated detail.
Cooked celery.
Yeah. Why not? Why celery?
It's just, I kind of felt like with the name Concrete, I just kind of felt like I just wanted to make his life just basic. You know?
Yeah.
Like, he just had a basic life of just cutting down trees, eating cooked celery every single day, just same thing.
Yeah.
And then he found a bug.
Yeah.
And he got stage 2 lung cancer, and then it got all complicated. And then it built on to like something insane.
Right. Nice. Starts simple and then just gets chaotic. Yeah. I like it. What a explanation for some details that maybe we hear and just like, oh, you just picked celery. No, there's like a reason. That was intentional. You wanted him to come off as basic, concrete, cutting down trees. Yeah, a lot of good language going on, you know, making some choices, calling these, you know, you got the raiders. I love that fungus. Wait, it looks like fungus. You know, you get that voice in there, the horde that hit the basement. There's something where there's like, you took it, like you said, you wanted to be happening right now. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but it seemed like that first person choice was really like a present tense thing.
Yeah.
You would have a line like, this is happening right now. Isn't there something like that in there?
Yeah, like, wait, there's like a zombie at our base camp right now.
Yeah. That's a really neat moment for the audience, because, you know, it's like, okay, we're listening to a story and then hear the narrative and like, no, like Concrete is saying it's happening right now. Like, that does something to the audience. Where you're like, oh, wow, there's like a tension, like, oh, this is really imminent. This is happening.
Like how you worry when something bad happens in a movie or someone's about to get caught in a movie or something. You're like, oh no, my heart's racing now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You really got the touch with that. I'm impressed, and I'm really excited for your future.
Thanks.
Yeah. Cause you got a bright one, and you know, the earlier you get into this type of stuff, you know, it just takes time and want and energy. And I'm seeing a lot of that sitting next to me. I mean, I want to thank you big time, man. It's been fun getting ready for the show with you, and, you know, being able to read your work. Cool. And, you know, I look forward to reading more of your work.
Yeah. Hopefully I can come on here again.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I'd love to.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, you know, friends you have who might be interested, let them
Yeah,
know. Like,
totally.
we're looking for guests. I mean, this is what this space is for. Like, I think more than, you know, any writer, any creative person, you know, we have that writing, right? Seward Soundwords to it. But creative people who want to come onto the radio, onto the YouTube channel at Sacktown, and just share their work, share what they're working on, and promote creativity in our community, because our community is loaded with creativity. And so having these more outlets to share, you know, like the spot here, Seward Soundwords, like open mic at the farmer's market, that could be a good spot for you and your friends, you know. We're just doing like real quick hitters, like just, you know, could be like real, hey, here's what I'm working on, read a poem, read a line from your movie. So let friends know about that, because what's nice about that, like this, it's a regular stage. Like, it's not just like, oh, you had your chance, we're not doing it anymore. Like, these are things we're doing, you know, going into the future. I mean, the farmer's market, the last one is the first Saturday in September. So then you'll have to wait till next year. But we do readings throughout the year, where I think you would be a great guest. You know, classmates of yours, you know, students who I've worked with through the Artisan schools, they've read at readings to open our reading, and their sets are like the best, you know, like they're as good as the adults. And it's really powerful to see, you know, students, I think, have the bravery or just whatever it takes to, you know, like, I mean, this guy's cool as a cucumber, but, you know, it does take a lot to step out there and share what you're working on and sit in the seat. So, yeah.
Well, and when you when you perform your work, it transforms it in a lot of cases.
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It gives you you get feedback.
Yeah.
And
yeah, getting it ready, like, okay, it's ready to go on the air, like you did today. And I'm sure you're going to step out of here like, you know, I want to change, not this. I have ideas for this movie script now by sharing it. Like, even as you read it, sometimes I'm like, oh, I should make it go this way. Like, it just keeps the work lively and out there. Yes, like, you have this piece that you've shared, and now people are going to talk about feedback. You know, I was so late to the game with feedback.
Yeah.
And it's important because it's fun. I was happy creating my work. But as far as like advancing my work and knowing what is working with an audience, because we want an audience, right? We want people to watch these movies. So like kind of getting little feedback on what's working for them, what they like. It's a good thing to seek. It seems like you're open to it, seeking it, coming on the show like this.
I like doing like a lot of comedy stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Like what kind of comedy?
Like
writing jokes?
Dark jokes.
Okay.
Dark jokes are funny for me.
Yeah.
We
could do those off the air, maybe.
Yeah, I have a very dark sense of humor.
Yeah, no doubt. That's good. That works well in show business, which I think is what you're doing here. And, you know, author, artist, indie films. Anything else you want to say to Seward today here, Sam? And we will have you on again soon. You know, this has been great.
Yeah. I think I'm all good.
You good? Yeah, you did it, man.
Except if you have any ideas, make sure to come on here because it's really fun. And yeah,
thank you.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you all so much for listening here on at Sacktown, and watching at Sacktown channel, our YouTube channel, and listening on our local radio station, 91.7 KIBH FM Seward. Sam, awesome job, man. A lot of fun. Nice work.
Yeah.
All right, Seward Soundwords with our host Sean Ulman.
Right.
And guest today, Samuel Teckenbrock. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button, because that helps us out. We're trying to get up there as far as subscribers, so we can get monetized and all that, and just reach a wider audience also. So
yeah.
All right. Thanks,
jump
guys.
over to Unbelievable Sam and do the same.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Hit subscribe on Unbelievable Sam and hit the like on his stuff. And the other one is, I'm sorry, Brock. Nelson Brocks. That's your collaborator, huh?
Yeah, that's me.
You're kind of like Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah, that's
Brothers.
All right.